Hello, Beast and Diplomacy friends and playtesters and thingamabobs. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the almanac and how to deal with it. All right. So in this video is gonna be unlisted. So if I give you the link, basically, it's just for you to know what to do. And there's gonna be in the description there's gonna be a link to the Google Sheet that you need for this, as well as the file that you would need to import into TTS. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open the unscripted version. All right, so we're gonna go that load. There we go. So we got the unscripted version loading. Eventually. Okay, so everything's ready here. Now what we want is we'll probably be using this area over here to do all of our workage. But the first thing we need is we need to click on objects, then we need to click on components, then we need to click on custom, then we need to click on custom PDF. Then you just leave it somewhere here, right click, and it asks you for a file. Okay, now here you will be pasting a URL. Okay, I'll show you how to do that in a second. Because this is my first time doing it, I actually need to throw in the proper file. So there. So I'm doing it this way, but you'll be doing it differently. I'm gonna post the compressed version. Cloud upload. So now as this thing is thinking, okay, there, okay, there, this is the link here, and this link over here is now the link that you guys will be using. So whenever you create this, although I'll just show you it, it'll be easier. So I stored it here temporarily, but it will be in the description of this video. Okay, so now I'll close this. I don't know how big or small it's gonna make it, fairly small, that's fine. You can play around with this yourself, or you can just pop it out, right? And then you go to where you need to go. Interesting. Okay, gonna have to fix that. Don't know how that happened, but that's fine. Few errors. Okay, so everything is working as intended. Beautiful. So I'm gonna delete this and demonstrate the other way. So, whoops. So you go to objects, components, custom PDF, put it here, right click, boom. It asks you for the URL. So you copy and paste this from the YouTube link and import. Okay, there you go. Now you may want to change the scale. Like I said, this is very much up to you, like something like that. It would be an A5, so technically speaking it would have to be, I'm using the plus key near the backspace there. This is approximately its correct size. Okay, so you can put it right here or something. I'm not gonna upload a new mod for this because well, you know, it's other people that may access it, etc. And this is added value to the physical product. Anyway, so there's the almanac. So now what you want to do now that you've done this is you want to dedicate some sort of save file to it. So let's say I'm going to go save load, save game, and I'm going to call it BAD almanac test, something like that, save. Right. So now whenever you load, you've got the BAD almanac test, you load that, and it's always going to work. Okay, so there we go. Now there is a document that I'm gonna oh wait a second, I think I'm gonna have to I'm very well prepared. Where was I? Where's the document? I don't want to start showing you my private email. There. Okay. Okay, so this is the document over here, and it's got your names in it. Okay, and what you guys want to do is you want to go through these challenges. So you've got the status of the challenge, which can be pending or done. I should probably add one more status, which is skipped. I don't know. I'm assuming that all of you have the skills not to skip them. Then you've got the difficulty that you perceive the challenge to have been. Okay, how many attempts you've done, just type a number in there, and how fun it was from 1 to 5, where 1 is terrible and 5 is awesome. 3 is meh. All right, so the middle level is meh, therefore it's sort of less than passable, right? It's like you'll bear with it because you have to, type of thing, at 3. So it's kind of insufficient. And then any extra comments you have, you put in here. All right. So ideally, you'd progress all the way down to here. Okay. So each empire has 3 chapters. Okay. So let's take a look at how those work. So over here, right, if we go to the next page, you've got an introduction that explains what this is. Then it's got a small description of how you read this, which is sort of important. We cannot really emulate that in TTS because you would have a book that's open on 2 pages at the same time at any one time, and that's really what's important, because you got page 1 and 2 which you get a prologue, which is this bit over here, and then you got the challenge. Right now those would appear, one on the left side, one on the right side, and then you go to the next one, but it's still good for the emulation purposes. So you got the prologue, which you can read, and then you've got the challenge. The challenge is always preceded by a certain type title. Then you've got yourself a character saying something, giving you context as to why you're doing what you're doing, and then you've got what you need to do. So in this case it says set up as usual, then add quest Merkur, and welcome the following 4 diplomats: Arcton, Ulker, Jago, and Kurtash. Okay, so what we would need to do now is we would go here, we would search, we would find the Merkur quest. There she is. Okay, so we'll put it right here. All right, let's say I'm gonna go green just because this is what we got. I'm gonna set up as usual, which means I need 4 workers. The disk can go over there. The 2 workers can go over here. The die can go over here. This worker's decided to go somewhere else, and this can go over there soon. Now I'm also going to need an environment. I'm also going to need a 20 there. Okay, so that's not bad. Now next, I need to get Arcton, Ulker, Jago, and Kurtash. I probably need to mention that they need to be welcomed. But we'll see. So Kurtash is here. There we go. Ulker's here. They all have the little codes as well, so you can see those. Obviously in real life it's way easier because you're manually touching the cards and seeing them, so it makes it much easier. Arcton. But this is what we got to work long distance, right? Much better than nothing. Jago. That's what I'm missing. So as you can see, a highly contradictory playthrough. Then draw 1 random beast, 2 random traders, and 2 random personnel. So I'm going to change my color to green. What does it say? Draw 1 random beast, 2 random traders, 2 random personnel. Okay, so 1 random beast, 2 random traders, 2 random personnel. Okay, and now we're going to quickly shuffle everything. Probably should have done it before, but it doesn't matter. Split. Put this over here, put this over here. Shuffle, shuffle. And we are now ready to take the challenge. Here it says skip the first dawn. Okay, so we would just go directly to the morning and you'd set it up manually. I forgot the blockers. The blockers need to be set up just like in single player. Right, so I'm gonna lock these, then take them there and lock them both. You may want to set this up before you sort of save the blockers in particular, because the vast majority of the challenges are going to have single player setup for blockers, right? Some of them don't though, but that's okay. Yeah, and now you begin playing as you would. Okay, so then you can tell me whether you liked it, didn't like it, and so on and so forth. Cool. Now, let's take a quick, let's take a look at what happens later. Let's suppose that I finish my challenge, and and to pass the challenge, you need to do all of these objectives. So I need to have at least 6 influence points from my Merc request, so I need 2 Mercer beasts. I need all of the setup diplomats to be fully satisfied, so I can't get rid of these people. I need to keep them and satisfy them, so I'm going to need a minimum of 8 beasts because of Mercer and the rest. You have at least 3 King's medals, okay? So, and then your final score is at least 140. That's not insignificant, right? Okay, so that's how that works. Now, let's say you complete the challenge, you get yourself the reward, which is a bit of story, the equivalent of a video game cutscene, really. Then, whoopsie daisy, I think I move on twice. Then we get a second challenge, and so on. Okay, now this will continue for a fairly long time. Now you will get challenges that are way more complex in terms of what's available to you. Okay, and how it works. So let's take a look, for example, here. You can use special abilities by paying King's favors. King's favors never convert into King's medal. So you see that there is no setup, right? It means the setup is exactly bog standard, right? So if you have 12 King's favors, you cannot get more. All of your abilities can be used as many times as you want, as long as they are legal to use at the indicated time of day. And if you can pay King's favors, right? So here you have all of the things you can do with the King's favors. So cost 1, anytime, get 5 money. Cost 1, done, add more quests to your hand to choose from. Cost 2, anytime, ban 1 welcome diplomat, and so on and so forth. Okay, the only objective here is to score more than 200. Now, here's some spoilers for you. The final battle. Okay. This is the sort of conclusion. And then we move on to the final challenge. So this challenge is actually a battle, which means it's very different from the rest. Some of you may be tempted to go and do that first. I don't think that's a good idea. A, it's harder. B, you really want to acquaint yourself with the rest first. We also need to know if there's any degree of interest in kind of progressing linearly. But then again, who's to stop you from going here directly? Still, I'm going to spoil it for you now. So this is a completely different setup. You can see here, right, that we have an extra sheet, okay, an extra object. Now that object I will be uploading for you and giving you a link. Everything will be in the description. What you want to do is you want to use objects, components, custom, and then go tile, right? And then right here you put the URL, and right here you put the other URL, put thickness as little as this, and then import, right? Once you've done that, what will happen is you will want to resize it to be about this size, okay? And you will put it somewhere, say here, something like that. Anyway, so you get that particular sheet. All right, now what happens then is you will want to add some very specific quests as indicated here, over here. Then you will want to separate some of the quests and put them in a deck. You will then want to put the deck on top of the boss. And that's it, I think. I think you get a random starting hand. It's all written here anyway. Now, you have losing and winning conditions. So the losing conditions is that the green character has no more workers. So there are no more green workers either deployed or in the home. You lose immediately. The enemy runs out of quests. You lose immediately. You would see the face under that. Oh, there you go. This is how this is meant to look like. And then the last thing is the soul stream, which is this extra mechanic you will find out while reading this. Contains beasts whose value totals 20 or more. For the winning conditions, what you need to do is what's shown in this picture over here. So you need to cover the medals of the demon with your own turn stack discs, which are called boulders in this case. And then on top, when there's a medal on top, you put your own worker on top of the disc. Then the final green worker that is available needs to go on top of the supply of medals. And that will then conclude the fight in your favor and you will win. Okay, so this will explain to you how this entire thing works and is read. This will tell you all of the spells that are available to the enemy, which you must manage rolling the die all the time. Okay, and this is a bit wrongo bongo, but I'll fix it. Okay, that surprises me. I thought I'd fix this. I see the picture is out of date for some reason. Okay, fine, I'll fix that. Anyway, you're gonna get a link that works, don't worry. And then we've got your own abilities. So you will see that all of your characters have certain abilities, and you will be able to cast them whenever you want, so long as your hero is alive. Your hero can die if they lose all of their workers. We'll worry about that later, but it's not really well explained here. I need more pages for that. You can also call one of the spells of the enemy yourself, force the enemy to do that particular spell. Everything's written here. Then you've got the game flow and how it works. You will see here explained what happens at dawn, what happens in the morning, noon, etc. It's very, very similar to the normal version. And then over here you have a summary of all of the abilities. Right, so this is what the red character can do, the blue character, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then here you have the conclusion, and then here you have a nightmare difficulty, which is the same challenge but with extra objectives, and that's the end of this product. Okay, so there we go. It'll be this plus this put together. All right, let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, hope I can rely on you a little bit for this stuff, because it's quite a lot of work and doing it all alone is kind of difficult. If you think it's better to sort of start at different places, so for example, I don't know, Jen could do Merkur and Javelin, and JC could do Imperium and Teutonic. I don't know. I think everybody should do everything to give me their opinions. But yeah, it's quite a lot of games in total, right? It would be 19 games, but I don't expect you to succeed at every challenge first try. Though some of you are so skilled that you will pass some of these first try, and that's fine. Okay? Cool. Thank you. Bye.